6 years ago, when I married Kylie, I thought I was the luckiest man in the world. At that time, there had never been anyone who gave me as much peace as she did, but over time something began to change. Something I couldn't quite figure out. It was happening right in front of my eyes, yet I couldn't fully grasp it. When she came home late from work, she was so absorbed in her phone, it was as if I didn't even exist. That's when I realized something was wrong, and when I found out the truth, I never imagined it would hurt this much. Before diving into my story, you don't want your life to be turned upside down like mine. Subscribe to my channel to learn real lessons from the real stories we share every day just like mine. Also, share your thoughts about the shocking truths I've experienced in the comment. Please show your support by liking my video. Now that you've subscribed, let's dive into my story. That night, after receiving her message that she would be late again, I ordered a cheeseburger. I had a strange feeling it was as if this ordinary day would become a turning point in my life. As I sipped my bourbon, I thought about it. For the past 6 months, Kylie had been working late almost every night, always with the excuse of work. At first, I believed her. After all, she loved her job. But recently the way she kept her phone from me, her secretive texting, it fueled the suspicion growing inside me. This can't go on, I said to myself. I need to find out what's going on. I called Pendragon Security and hired a private investigator to follow Kylie. I don't even remember when I made that decision, but at the time it felt like the right thing to do. And as the results came in, what I saw shattered me. One morning, I opened the report from the detective, and my heart felt like it was about to burst. There were pictures of Kylie and her boss, Tony, but it didn't look like a typical work relationship. Seeing her smile at him, knowing that a smile that once belonged to me was now directed at someone else, created a pain inside me that was impossible to describe. Even worse, this wasn't just an office flirtation, it had turned into regular secret meetings. Then I learned more. They were going to hotel rooms, and Kylie was leaving the house late under the pretense of work, only to go to Tony's house. Every step had been meticulously planned. Each moment where they made a fool of me played out in my mind, and a wave of anger surged inside me. How could I confront her? How could I look her in the eye? Cold truth of her betrayal had drained every ounce of love I had for her. One evening when Kylie came home, I knew I had to talk to her. Couldn't keep this inside any longer. Kylie, we need to talk, I said, noticing the tremor in my voice. Kylie ignored me and headed to the bedroom to change. Max, I'm really tired. Let's do this another time, please, she said in a cold tone. But I couldn't hold back. There is no other time, Kylie. I know what's going on. My voice rose unexpectedly, and I was on the verge of losing control. Kylie stopped suddenly and turned to face me. I saw a brief flash of panic in her eyes. Then she put on that familiar mask. What do you mean? She asked, pretending as if nothing was wrong. Tony, I said. I know everything. Since I hired the detective, I've been watching every move you make, hotel rooms, late-night meetings. I know every step of your betrayal. Her face went pale, and her lips trembled, but she stubbornly remained silent. Tears welled up in her eyes, but they weren't enough to soften me. Those tears meant nothing to me now. Why, Kylie? Why did you do this to me? We had a life, a beautiful marriage, everything seemed fine, but you. My words got stuck in my throat. I wanted to believe her, but the evidence screamed the truth. Max, she stammered, voice shaking. It was a mistake, just a moment of weakness. You don't understand. I felt so lonely. You were so consumed with your work, and I got lost. He laughed bitterly. It was a futile effort. Lost? Then why didn't you say anything to me? Why did you go so far as to betray me? This wasn't just a moment of weakness, Kylie. This is the end of our marriage. At that moment, something broke inside me. I thought I could forgive her, that maybe we could find a way, but at that moment, everything ended. The regret on Kylie's face turned into a mixture of desperation. I'm ending this, I said, looking her straight in the eye. I've already signed the divorce papers. Everything is ready. I don't want to live in the same house with you anymore. Kylie's eyes widened, and she tried to say something, but the words got stuck in her throat. Max, please don't. It was a mistake. We can fix this. I still love you. I shook my head with a bitter smile. Love, Kylie, this isn't love. You cheated on me. You lied. You destroyed our trust. This isn't love. That night, everything ended. Kylie left the house in tears. As I looked back, I thought about how our 6-year marriage had come to this. This wasn't just a momentary lapse or a simple misunderstanding. This was Kylie's choice, and that choice had destroyed our marriage forever. When I told Kylie that I knew everything, I'll never forget the look on her face. Those trembling lips, those useless tears. At that moment, I made up my mind. This wouldn't end with just a divorce. No, I wasn't going to let her walk away from this easily. Whatever she had done to me, I was going to do to her. I would destroy her life just as she had destroyed mine. First step was exposing her relationship with her boss. When I told Tony's wife everything, the chaos that erupted was far beyond what I expected. Watching Tony's reputation fall apart gave me a strange satisfaction. Seeing the man lose his job, his marriage, everything in an instant brought me a deep sense of peace. And Kylie, I'll never forget the shock she felt when she realized her career was ruined because of this affair. She had to resign from her job. The woman who once climbed the ladder of success quickly was now the subject of rumors. The looks, the whispers, the people she once respected turned their backs on her. And me? I just watched. Then there was the house. Kylie thought she had a place to stay after the divorce, but she was wrong. I had bought that house, and she had no rights to it. I sold the house and took the money. She was left on the streets. When she left the house, unable to take even a garbage bag with her, the look of helplessness on her face was enough for me. Now, she lives in a small, shabby apartment as she reflects on how her life came to this. The regret I see on her face brings me deep satisfaction. Kylie's life quickly spiraled downward. She lost her job, started struggling financially, her debts piled up, and even her car was repossessed. Every morning, she goes out in hopes of finding a job, but everyone knows about her scandal. No one wants to hire her. Even her friends turn their backs on her. No one pities her for cheating on me, just as I don't pity her. Every time I ask myself, was it worth it? Yes, it was. Seeing the state she's in, the anger inside me is replaced by a cold satisfaction. Watching her like this gives me the peace of mind to sleep soundly every night. The woman who once destroyed everything I held dear is now crushed under the weight of her own ruined life. Once, I heard from an old friend that Kylie was desperately searching for work on the streets. I imagine her in every moment of that struggle, the hopelessness in her eyes, the judgmental stares from the people who once admired her. The woman who once had everything now has to settle for the scraps life throws her. Meanwhile, I've only become more successful. I expanded my automotive chain, opened new branches. Every morning when I look in the mirror, I'm proud of myself. I survived the destruction and rebuilt. And the best part? Watching Kylie flounder in the pit she dug for herself because of me. I don't feel sorry for her. She got what she deserved. I must admit, sometimes I remember the love I once felt for her. But then I think about how she betrayed me, how she shattered our life together, and at that moment, all the regret I once had is replaced by cold revenge. Now every morning she wakes up, she must be thinking about how big of a mistake she made. And me? I'm just smiling.